So, hi everyone. My name is Yasmin from the Freedom Geek, and today I will be interviewing Carl Ficks, and this is going to be about his journey in hiring and finding a Filipino virtual assistant. So, a bit about Carl. Carl helps busy professionals and their teams thrive with fitness. He's a marathoner, endurance cyclist, and former 30 plus year trial lawyer. He is the founder of No Surrender LLC, and Carl teaches that fitness and well being are the cornerstones of success. So, hello, Carl. Thank you so much for being here today. I
Thank you
have
so
given,
much for
yes,
having me.
thank you, Carl. I have given a bit of introduction, but please do tell us more about you and your business.
Sure. So again, thank you for having me. I started practicing law in 1988, and I did that all the way through 2021. I had a brief stint where I ran a foundation raising money for a hospital. That was a non-legal position, but generally practiced law with two law firms for 30 plus years. It was trial work. It was very rigorous, very long hours. And one of the ways that I handled those long hours and the rigor of the work was through a fitness. I embedded a fitness component in my daily, weekly, and monthly schedule, which allowed me to handle the rigors of the work, in addition to this other thing outside of work called life. And I found that to be very, very helpful. And what I did is I pivoted in May of 2021 and I founded this company. And now I'm teaching, speaking, writing, and coaching in the wellness space to share what I learned and hopefully help a few folks during their journey.
So, throughout that entire journey, I know we have just recently met, and you hired a virtual assistant through the Freedom Geek. What made you decide to hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines?
Well, again, I spent my entire professional career with two law firms and one hospital. And those three businesses had infrastructure, and I simply plugged my practice into that infrastructure. And I had folks that would help me with a lot of things. I had administrative support staff, I had IT staff. All I had to do basically was show up and work. And then when I pivoted and founded my own company, I was one guy on an island trying to figure everything out. And I worked with a coach, and my coach recommended the Freedom Geek, who he's had great success with the company. And I know there are things that I don't really enjoy doing. And he said, you may want to give this a try. So that's when I reached out to the Freedom Geek, because there were so many things that were going on trying to launch this business that I needed help. And that's where the
Right.
Freedom Geek came in.
So, can you tell us a little bit about that journey, Carl? How has your virtual assistant helped you in terms of building that business and assisting you throughout that process?
Well, I can start by, we can take one step back. The Freedom Geek assigned me a relationship manager, Peter, who has been exceptional. He orchestrated the interview process. We had a very nice discussion. So Peter found some candidates and we had interviews. And I will tell you that the three candidates were all very well qualified and all very well prepared for the interviews. But he also said, if these three candidates are not a right fit, we'll get you another slate of candidates. But out of that slate, I was able to hire one VA, and she has been wonderful. One of the greatest things is her creativity. She's younger than me, about the age of one of my daughters, so she looks at things a little differently, which is very, very helpful. We're just a different generation, but she brings this a different viewpoint to the table, which is good. and she's very, very, among other things, willing to learn. I've assigned some tasks, and she said, "Well, I've done that a little bit, but I'm going to research it, and then we'll make it happen." And she's done that.
Could you let us know, Carl, how was that process? And so we mentioned Peter being a really great relationship manager to finding your virtual assistant. How was the onboarding process with your virtual assistant? Was it difficult? Were there any struggles in terms of training them and being onboarded in your business?
No, I mean, the one issue is, given there is a time difference. I'm in the Eastern time zone, which is New York, that area.
Yes.
There is a little bit of a difference, and I need to work through that. That's not a showstopper. I just need to adjust a few things, knowing that when I reach out, that the VA may not respond because it may be the middle of the night where the VA is, and that's okay.
I know a lot of our clients, usually when they speak to us, they're really worried about the training, the training that comes with it. It's going to take a long time. They don't have time to train a VA. In your experience, did you feel like it was difficult to delegate these certain tasks to a VA, or was it no problem at all?
No, it wasn't a problem, and I have found that the VA is extremely willing and able to take on any task. And again, I've asked her to help me with something, and if she does not know how to do it, she will say, "I'm not sure, but I will learn it, and I will let you know." And I'm fine with that. And I don't want her learning on her own time, and I made that clear to her. So um, I'm paying her to learn, which is fine. That's all part of the process, and we just want to get it right and have a good time while we're doing it.
Do you have any tips for our entrepreneurs who are looking to hire a VA, but they're kind of unsure how to manage or delegate things to a virtual assistant?
Yeah, two tips, and one I actually need to work on a little more, and that is to stay in a little more steady contact with her. Again, having worked in a brick and mortar business my entire career, 33 or 34 years, my administrative assistant was within 10, 20 feet of my office. So when there was an issue, I would simply walk out and talk to him or her, and it would be resolved. So that wasn't an issue. There are times where I actually, because of the way I am, I feel bad that I haven't reached out to the VA, and I make a mental note. I need to get a little better at that. So that's on me. The second thing is uh, I'm assigning tasks and things to do. And what I'm also doing is when I do that, I make a note of it, and that is becoming my company procedure manual. So I don't have to recreate the wheel, because if something occurred with the VA, if she moved on or no longer wanted to be a VA, then I would need to hire another one. And I will have some sort of a manual that I am creating basically from scratch. So I'm trying to capture and memorialize the tasks that I assign to the VA, which will again go into a binder and become some sort of company manual for my company.
Yes, definitely. That's also one of the recommendations that we do have to our clients, that you record everything, all of your processes, so that when you're teaching them to a virtual assistant, it's already documented. You can just save it in a Google Drive if it's digital, and then pass it on to a second VA or third VA if you're building a team, or if your first VA left and then you want to get somebody on board, you don't have to do any kind of training, 200 hours of training from scratch at any point whatsoever. All right. Well, thank you so much, Carl. Really appreciate you as a customer, and of course, sharing your testimony through this interview. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.